Thank you, Jamie, and thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us. We do appreciate it. The kind of big news, and I don't think it was unexpected, it might be a good way to put it, is that Arizona voters will have a ballot initiative that they get to vote on in November that would enshrine the right to abortion up till 24 weeks into the state constitution. Yep. That's much different than just a law that can be overturned. And like we learned, you might go back to 1864 with a law.
Well, 1864 is done.
It's over and done with.
A lot of people wanted that. I don't know a lot of people. There's a portion.
Yeah.
Just come on. It's 1864. Let's figure something else out. But, now I think you've got something that a lot of people find okay. It's 15 weeks. 15 weeks. Are you going to go and
That's
vote?
what exists right now.
Right. Are you going to go and vote for something that extends the amount of time you would be allowed in Arizona to have an abortion? Are people going to go to the polls in Arizona and say 15 weeks is too short? Because I think some people out there, 15 weeks is too long. Because everybody's all over the place, right? They have their own beliefs and opinions about if a woman should have an abortion at all. So Arizona law currently bans abortions after 15 weeks.
Okay.
This one on the ballot, it would be 24
I believe.
Weeks. And that is basically what? You would allow an abortion up until a fetus could survive outside the womb.
Correct.
Typically around 24 weeks. Okay. I think that Arizona has a decision to make. Mm-hmm. And, this is going to bring a lot of, I think, Democrats out to the polls, obviously. Some left-leaning independents, no question about it. A lot of women, there's no doubt.
Regardless of political affiliation?
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be one of the most voted on, I don't know if we're going to, I think that just this, if Harris and Trump isn't enough for you to go out, right? Because it's a close race now in Arizona.
It is.
Now abortion is officially on the ballot, and you will have a choice whether to say, I like 15 right now. That's what we've got. So I'm going to vote against this 24 week.
Well, we're also going to have at least one, if not more. Remember the leaked PowerPoint presentation?
I do.
A few months back
on a Republican planned abortion. On
initiatives,
the ballot.
And this would be and this is happening, referred by the Republican legislature, which doesn't need signatures or anything, go straight onto the ballot. And they talked about in those slides trying to put other ballot measures up that would confuse voters on purpose.
Right.
Like that was part of the strategy, and give them names that like the Protecting Pregnant Women Act.
Right.
And people go, well, of course you want to protect pregnant. Why wouldn't you want to protect pregnant women? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I think there could be a ton of money spent on this too. And I think that one side is going to be trying to tell a story. The other side is going to be trying to muddy the water.
Yeah. I don't want Arizona to become like Texas, where, I was just reading the other day, there were two women, and they were left to miscarry in a public restroom. They went to the ER, and they it's not that they got shooed away.
Right.
They got turned away. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, they got turned away.
Yeah. And it's because the doctors, the nurses, the people in the ER, the law is very muddied.
Murky.
And they don't know, is this okay for an abortion? Like, if there's a woman who comes in with an ectopic pregnancy and you can't get treated at an ER, there's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a major problem. There was one California woman I was reading the other day, needed a blood transfusion. She sat 9 hours in the waiting room. They tried to figure out, well, what are we supposed to do? What does the law say? What does this say?
Well, and it comes down to, and I'm not the expert. Let's just say that right now. It comes down to some procedures and or some drugs.
Yes.
If they lead to the termination of the pregnancy while you're treating the mother for whatever you're doing, Well, then the doctors, the nurses, the hospital can be held liable.
Right, because they're saying at times, let nature take its course.
That's not an exaggeration.
I know.
I can't believe if I went to a doctor and me, guys, we're lucky. When you go to the doctor and he goes, I don't know, just let nature take its course.
Yeah. There was a woman in Arkansas, went into septic shock, and her fetus died after an emergency room sent her home.
Well, Arizona voters are going to get to vote on it, but it's going to be confusing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be confusing on purpose, and that's maybe even more
You're going to have to do your
frustrating.
homework. You're going to have to,
Yeah.
I mean, we can try and make it as easy as possible to
We'll try to
understand,
explain
but,
it.
I mean, it has to be spoon-fed to both of us first. I mean, when we
Absolutely.
start getting through this stuff, but at the end of the day,
spoon-feeding.
at the end of the day, you're going to really have to look into what you're voting for, and, on both sides, don't let a kind of a catchy title
Right.
say, oh, that sounds good. Because
Saving pregnant women.
you really don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
Look at what's in it and vote however you want. I'm not going to tell you how to vote.
All I'm going to tell you is, remember, they name these initiatives to confuse you. They do it on purpose.
Right.
It's not by accident.
Got to do your homework.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.